Okay, it looks like we're live. It's saying we're live.
All right. Yeah, looks like we're live.
Fantastic, yeah. So now to let people know we're live, that's the next move, I guess.
Yes, so we should send out a tweet, and I'll just retweet what you put there.
Okay, so the tweet should be sent out now. I hope the link is the right one. That would be a pity if it wasn't.
That'd be preferable if it's the right link.
Yeah, it looks like it's the right link.
Yeah, okay. There, I retweeted that. Okay, so can we tell if anybody is in the chat yet?
Well, I guess we'll find out in just a moment.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, maybe we should just like mention the giveaway just for when this goes on our channels. So in case you guys don't know, we're doing the giveaway for 10 copies of The Name of the Wind. 2 of them are going to be the anniversary edition, which I have to say I am so excited for the anniversary edition. I really wish I had a copy to show on this live stream, but I wasn't able to get a copy.
Yeah, well, I don't actually have my copy here yet either. I ordered it and it should be arriving in the next few... Actually, it said next few days to weeks, so I really hope it's closer to days.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
hopefully.
Because I ordered my copy off of directly from the World Builders website, the charity that.
Oh, okay.
Well, his charity or the charity he's part of, basically, just that's it's signed. That's the really cool thing.
Oh, you got it signed. Oh, that's so cool. So did it cost extra to get it signed, or does it come like that?
Yeah, it costs.
I imagine it costs
extra.
Yeah, it's okay. It's the Name of the Wind. It's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. I also have my French copy of The Name of the Wind here because I like
that.
The cover is beautiful.
That cover it's my screen on my phone. At least I think that's the same image. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that does look like the same phone.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
The picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just got confused there for a second. Wait, we have a few people in chat. That's cool.
Awesome.
Cool. Hello, Bookish Ping. Hello, Cocktail F.
I really wish there'd be a 3rd installment. Yeah, I really wish so too. I think that's kind of what we're all waiting on. I really wish there was one soon. I have a prediction that he's probably going to come out with it like sometime around when the movie is being developed. I think maybe to get more of an audience. I don't know. Or maybe after the movie, preferably beforehand, but
yeah, preferably as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really look forward to whenever that comes out. That would be cool.
Yeah. If you see me, if you see me looking over to the side, that's because I'm looking at the chat. So.
Yeah. Well, if I'm looking kind of that way, it's the chat as well.
Yes.
Yes. Bookish Ping, there is a movie and also a series planned for the Kingkiller Chronicle series. So that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that. Lin-Manuel Miranda is involved in the music for it, so that's going to be amazing.
Oh, that's going to be so amazing. And that's probably going to be like a big part of the TV show and movie as well, because it was a pretty big part in the book. So I'm really excited for that.
Absolutely. There's one thing that I saw about the, what was it that Patrick Rothfuss said about the TV series and the film is that he's preparing himself for it to being an adaptation. And so it's kind of just a version of, and that's why he says that he can enjoy hundreds of different fan art drawings of Quoth because they're all different, but they're still really cool, and he can still enjoy them even though they're not like the image he has in his mind of Quoth.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And same, I'm guessing when he finds like an actor, it's probably not going to be the one that he had in mind when he was writing the book, but it'll be an adaptation. So I'm more excited for the TV show, honestly, than the movie.
No, I do agree because anyhow, like a film is just going to be maybe 2 hours. A TV series is going to be hours just per season. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that is pretty cool. Lynn is going to be perfect for it. Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Clara.
I'm so excited for that. Oh, hi, Clara.
Oh no, that's so much fun.
Oh, I'm so ready for the movie. They're also coming out with a game as well. which I don't really know what to think about it. I don't know how they can make a game out of the book, but I hope it turns out well.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to make a game, but it should be really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's like. I don't. What I think could be really interesting is, do you know the game called Mist or Riven? It's basically one of those games where you're in a specific on a map, and you kind of follow arrows to go to different places, and you've got puzzles to solve.
Oh, yeah.
The various puzzles that you solve I find what's really interesting is you pick up pieces here and there, like there's a little piece of ripped paper that has like a piece of information on it, and as you collect stuff, you discover the story of the world around you. So that could be a really kind of interesting kind of way of doing it. It would be really interesting to do that kind of in various places. So what I really would like is like a VR game of
that'd be amazing.
in say Caribbean or something like that.
Yeah.
And other
that'd
places just to explore them.
The university.
The university, absolutely. But what they would have to do is they would have to do, but would be impossible to do, would be to recreate the library, like all the books.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it would be impossible to do, definitely.
You just
amazing though.
Go up to a random shelf, pull off a book, and actually start reading the book within the world.
And they have like full books.
That would be so
That'd be really cool.
Yeah. Unlikely though. Quite unlikely that they'd be able to.
Quite
to
unlikely.
do that.
Yes. That'd be amazing. But
it would be so amazing. Yeah. Oh.
They made a Wheel of Time game. I didn't know that.
They did?
I did not know that.
Cool.
Wow. In the 90s, Jessica says. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, Stephen, have you read The Wheel of Time?
I have not. I have not read it yet. A friend of mine gave me, I think, the first 3 or 4 copies of the book. So, but it's the 3 or first copies. Yeah. No, does that make sense?
Or the
I think so.
installments in the series. Yeah.
Installments. Yeah. So that's that is interesting. I should maybe read them. I have them on my
It's really good. I started reading the first book just last month, and I think I'm only in like chapter 13, but it is really good. I think you would totally like it. Mind you, there is like 15 books, I think, so it will take a long time to get through.
Like that,
yeah. But it's really good so far.
There's something interesting that I saw about that series is that the books after he passed away, I believe, the author.
Yeah.
All books afterwards actually have a photocopied signature of him in the book.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the last ones in the series, but maybe if they republish them or something like that the newer ones have his signature printed into the front copy or something.
Okay, that's really cool.
I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that is the case. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got all of my copies for like 50 cents each at a used bookstore. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I think I got like 10 books. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
I just see a comment there about the giveaway. So I'm from Costa Rica. When will this giveaway be performed? So the giveaway is currently running, and it is open worldwide. So you can join. There's a link in the description where you can go over to the Gleam page where you can find all the information, basically. Yeah, the different ways to enter.
Yeah, so it'll be going to the end of this month. Then we're going to be announcing the winner sometime, I think, on November 5th. Is it the 5th?
Number 5th, yep, the 5th.
Yes,
so it's the Sunday, November. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Just a quick look.
Hello, Sam Loves Books.
So yeah, hello Jessica, who came in with from Breathe and Read. Yeah, cool. There's a lot. Yeah. Now, as I was sharing the book here before, so the name of the wind, the French edition, Le Nom du Vent. I really like this cover. I actually got a poster of this cover.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it's I think there was a limited run of them at some point, and I was just like, oh, that looks so cool. And since awesome. I got that poster, I was like, you know what? I can read French, so I might as well just get the French edition, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Nice and fun.
Yeah, I really like that edition.
It is a massive book, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
compared to the other one, the English copy. Yeah.
Hello, Julia Sapphire and Bram. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Nuddle? I think the C is silent.
I love the channel name. Sorry. Hello, not today, Satan. Hashtag back off.
It's a great channel name.
Yeah, it is really cool.
Just when you're having one of those really bad days.
Oh, asking me if I'm French. Well, no, Jessica, I'm not French, but I did live in France for 12 years. So I speak and read French. I went to school in France. So, yeah. Picked up some French in school in France, you know.
I'm Canadian, and most of Canada is bilingual, so we're supposed to know French, but I don't know any French.
We could have continued the chat in French.
I know. I'm really interested in learning French. I might still do it at some point, but...
Well, you can always ask me. I would love to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking, we were mentioning... Oh, should you fancy?
Yeah, exactly. That comment.
Yeah. So we were mentioning like the video game adaptation of The Name of the Wind. And I see you had a question on your Twitter. Maybe we should answer that about a video game adaptation.
Yeah, it kind of came into what we were saying. I think it was about what we'd like to see about the game, I think. I'll just quickly check.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. I just can't find it here.
Just, yeah, fly over to Twitter and see. Well, if Twitter wants to open, there we go.
I took French from grade 4 to 9, and I remember nothing. Yeah, I had to do French throughout elementary, and then I did, in high school, I did one class of French, but for some reason, none of it stuck with me. I think it kind of has to do with the teachers. For some reason, I find that there's never the best teachers to teach you like a new language, at least at the schools I've been to.
Yeah, teachers make a big difference in how you want to learn a language and what you pick up. So I know that in secondary school, so it was through French, but so I did English and German as my foreign languages. So for English, well, there wasn't much I could learn because I was speaking it every day at home. But for German, I learned a huge amount with some of the teachers because they were really good. There was one thing that I did actually in my second last year of secondary school is the teacher made me the person who kind of like there was a debate basically, and I was just giving different people the right to talk. That's not exactly what I was going to say. But, I was
the right to talk.
Basically, I was the chat moderator for the discussion. The discussion moderator. There we go. And that was really cool because I was there, and because one team had less people, I was told that I could also kind of be part of that team. But because because I'm fluent in German as well.
Yeah,
I have the ability to just I was able to moderate it, but I did learn a lot just standing there and being able to moderate that because it was not something I'd done before, so it was nice to try something different.
Yeah, it's nice when teachers do fun things like that to help you learn. Yeah,
absolutely. We have a few comments in Spanish. So we have Ezra, hello, and Rocío. So Rocío saying without subtitles, a bit lost. Sorry. I'll try to not speak too quickly. There. But if I do get a bit excited, I might just talk really quickly.
Yeah, I tend to talk quick when I'm excited as well.
Yeah, seems to happen a lot. Just talking quickly and then not thinking about it, but yeah.
Yeah. So Jessica from Breathe and Read says that we had a really angry German teacher. She annoyed you so much you had to leave class. Oh, wow.
That's
she'd cancel class. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I had a French teacher that was fairly angry a lot of the time. But mind you, we had some people in my class that was very kind of rude to her, so I could kind of understand why she'd be grumpy.
I had an English teacher exactly like that, actually.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it tends to happen a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, there was something really cool about the 10th anniversary edition, just because, well, I mean, I guess the theme is the name of the wind, but under the dust jacket on the cover, did you see what's written on the book?
No, I didn't. No.
It's written Valeritas.
Oh, is that the name of the wind? In the book?
Is it not what's written above the door in the library?
Oh, okay. Oh, like above the stone door.
Yeah, the door. Well, the copper plates door, the 4 copper plates door.
Okay. Oh, that's really cool. Oh,
yeah,
that's awesome.
So when you take that off, it's indented in the on the book.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Okay, we have a mix of questions. Okay, so Bram asks if I can say something in French. Oui, je peux dire quelque chose en français, ce n'est pas un problème. Pourquoi?
I did not understand that, but that was pretty cool.
I just said, yes, I can say something in French. Why? Yeah. Okay, so Jessica has a question. What's the wind called? Like, is that the point of the book, naming the wind?
Kind of hard to. It actually does have a name that is written in the book, and I know in a stream one time somebody told Rothfuss to try and pronounce it, but apparently the name he wrote it in a way where it's almost like impossible to pronounce. I don't even know what the name is because I think it only appears one time in the book. I mean, the name of the wind is called a few times in the book, but the actual written name only appears once in the book. But yeah, naming does have a part of the book. I wouldn't say it's like it doesn't happen all the time.
But yeah,
I don't know what would.
I'd say part of the book is searching for the name of the wind. It's a vague enough way of saying it without giving away too much information, because I know some people, I think, including Jessica, because the question, I'm guessing you haven't read the book, so I don't want to give away too much. Yeah.
I guess we could say that there is like a magic system in the book, and naming is part of that magic system. But there's also different branches of the magic system. Does each country have a different named wind? I don't think so. No.
No. So the name doesn't depend on the language or on the country, I don't think.
Yeah, I think it's like the true name.
Yeah, the true name. So I don't think that relies on that.
I feel like we're not describing this the best, but we're trying.
Well, I guess. I mean, it wouldn't be giving away too much to say that everything has a true name, and knowing the true name of something is supposed to give you the control of whatever that thing is, and that's where the whole thing of searching for the name of the wind comes from in the book, I guess. Controlling the wind. So yeah, that's not. It doesn't give away anything about the plot, and it didn't go into too much detail.
There's still a lot in the book. It's a very, very deep book and quite long.
Yeah.
Have you both read the sequel? Yes.
Yes. I think I've only read the sequel twice.
But how many times have you read the first book now? Like 5, is it?
No, only 4 times.
Only 4 times.
So I will definitely read it again, because as shown, the French one, I need to read this one. I really want to read it in French. The main reason why I got it in French is the same reason why I got the audiobook in German, and that was to explore the differences between translations and the original.
Oh, okay.
So, like, the first time I read it in English. So I read it back in 2014. I think it was September or something like that I read it. August, September, yeah. And then I followed it by reading the second book, actually, which answers the question that someone is asking there. How many books are in the series? There's 2 books currently out, and there's supposed to be a 3rd book coming out. To be determined when, but yeah, it's supposed to, at some point there should be a 3rd book coming out.
Yeah, and that 3rd book is called Doors of Stone. Yeah.
But yeah, so I read that back in 2014, then I read it again end of 2015, and then the sequel beginning of 2016. And then I read The Name of the Wind again twice this year.
Oh, wow. I've only read them once. I definitely plan on rereading them at some point. I want to try the audiobook as well at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think there's at least one, if not two, audiobooks. But maybe that was just because I was looking at different languages that I just got confused and thought they were the same.
Oh, yeah.
But no, what I found really interesting about listening to the audiobook in German was that there are slight differences. I noticed two differences. So the first one was when you get to the part where, I don't want to say too much.
Don't want to spoil.
Yeah. There's a wordplay with one of the guy's surnames. I think that's very vague.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what part I'm talking about?
I think so. Yeah, I think I do.
So we're the catchy song, that part.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes,
So,
I know what you're talking about.
So that wordplay in English works perfectly, but what they said in German is that they said that in the dialect, one of the dialects of the area, basically, they kind of explain the wordplay rather than just saying, like, in English you can just write it and people will get it because it's so similar, the wordplay with the surname. But then in the German version, as that isn't the case, even though the word would be known by people in German, it's because, well, those who speak English, it would be quite a common word as well, but just that it doesn't work in the same way. So they just explained that, yeah, it means what they basically explain the wordplay, which it's unfortunate because when you explain something rather than just showing it, it just takes that tiny bit away from it. Now, if you don't know it to compare it, you wouldn't really have a problem with it, I guess.
Yeah.
But
I guess if you know that, it probably kind of pulls you out of the book a bit.
Just a bit like I was looking out for differences, so it was something that, okay, there's a difference. Another thing I noticed was a little further in the book, not actually too far further. It was when the strong dialect, actually.
Okay.
They actually translated into normal German, so that means there's no transformation of the language. So it's just said that they're speaking strong dialect. It's not actually written in a strange way, you know, kind of like where you kind of half piece together what they're saying, which is unfortunate because that was actually a really cool part, I thought. But yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
But yeah, little differences between languages, which is fun.
Yeah. If you could know the name of something.
French.
So a question from Sam Loves Books. If you could know the name of something, what would it be?
I don't know.
Because I'm a fan of The Name of the Wind, I would probably like to know the name of the wind.
Fair one.
That is a good question.
I'm just looking at the periodic table to see if there's an element that would be of interest.
You just had that handy?
Yeah, I just got that line here.
You knew that question was coming.
Maybe. I mean, when I think of controlling the wind, I cannot think of anything but Avatar. Almost like if I'm not thinking of the name of the wind, so it's like, which element would be most interesting to control? And then I'm like, well, water would be pretty cool. Water's pretty powerful.
Yeah,
so, like,
water.
The name of water would be a pretty cool one.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Let's see what else we have. Favorite characters and why? That's a good question. Do you want to start?
Well, I guess it's kind of hard not to pick the main character, Kavath, because he's pretty awesome. But besides him, I really like Ori, the moon child. I don't know what to call her, but she lives like... Oh, I guess I don't want to get into spoilers. What am I doing? I like Ori, and I like Simon a lot. He's really funny. And why am I forgetting his name? The professor.
Elodin?
Yes, Elodin. I love Elodin.
Okay.
He's hilarious.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my favorite character is actually Ori. So I do like Kvothe, but I do have a preference for Ori. I find the mystery around the character is really interesting. And then I really like the two of the professors. So we've got Elxadal, I think. Is that his name? Exla or Elxadal?
I think, Elxa or something.
The advanced
sympathist?
Sympathist, professor. And then also obviously Elodin.
Yeah. You can't not like Elodin.
Yeah, absolutely. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My cats are like fighting beside my computer here.
As long as they're not fighting and then all of a sudden send the computer flying, that would
Yeah,
be
hopefully
not ideal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bram's saying that Patrick stated that the title for the last book might change. Yes, I did hear that the name wasn't particularly official, but it did get out to the internet and such, and so it's kind of become the people think it's the official name, but not necessarily. But it is a really good name, and I think there'd probably be an uproar if the name was actually changed now.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, it's been so many years now that we've known it as that. But...
So it's just like in terms of just marketing, it would be strange to not use that name now unless it makes sense to call it something else. If there's a perfect name for it, but I feel like it would actually have to be like even just a subtitle. So
yeah.
So I mentioned in my last video Frankenstein. So Frankenstein is Frankenstein or the Modern Prometheus. So it could be something like that, where it's like the title or the Doors of Stone. So that could be something if they really wanted to use something else as the main title. But I do personally think probably will stick with the, Doors of Stone just because it's so widespread. Now, that's speculation. Might not be the case.
Yeah. It's a good name. It's a good name for a book. I like it. I hope he sticks with that.
Well, it really goes well with the first book as well, because the Doors of Stone being relevant all through it, where it's mentioned a few times.
Yeah, and it's still kind of a mystery. So, yeah. Oh, Cheyenne says bye because she has to go for a international relations and Chinese essay. So good luck on that.
Best of luck on that. Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah, international relations is actually something that I considered studying at some point. So that's why I'm not just saying that sounds interesting randomly. It actually really sounds interesting.
Oh, wow, that's really cool.
Rocio is saying a difference between the English and the Spanish version. Ambrose Jackie I never know how to pronounce that surname, is called Ambrose Anso.
Okay.
And the explanation Rocio was telling me was that Anso is very close to the Spanish word that they use for the wordplay in English. So it's just it was changed for that wordplay as well, actually. So that is pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jay's resemblance to Jacksepticeye. Okay. I didn't know I resembled Jacksepticeye.
Well,
top of the morning to you.
Well, we've got the Irishman here on this side, and we've got the resemblance on the other. So that's perfect. We've got a Jack between us. Yeah.
I always pronounce Kivoth like quote. Is that wrong?
I don't actually know the proper way of pronouncing it. I think Patrick Rothfuss might say something like that. I just have the habit of saying it with a W sound. So I say quote.
Oh really?
I don't know. It's just
I know he did do a pronunciation video. I can't exactly remember what it was, but I know when I was reading, I was pronouncing it as I think Kavoth. I think Kavoth is how I pronounce it when I was reading it. But after watching his pronunciation, I think he was like saying the K and the V almost simultaneously. So it was like Kavoth. No, I can't even do it. I don't know how to do it, but I think it's kind of open to interpretation because I know I probably read it differently when I was reading the book.
Yeah, I know that there's one name like this in a different book. So Harry Potter, you've got what is it? Oh yeah, Hermione.
Oh yeah, and it's like Hermione.
In French, they actually say Hermione. So I I've gotten used to saying Hermione, but it's just Hermione is what I said at the beginning. It's just that's what I read, and because in French it was Hermione, and that's what people were saying. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. let me see. Clara asks, do you like The Name of the Wind or The Wise Man's Fear more? Who? Hmm.
I think personally, I actually like the second one more. I do really like the first book, but I think there's something about the second one that I really like. I feel like there is a few parts that kind of slow down in the second one, but I actually enjoy it more. How about you?
I agree. There are parts in the second book that do slow down a bit, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like the beginning of the first book is slower.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
they both have that bit where they're a bit slower. So the first book to just get into, and the second book there are parts where you're just like, this part could be a bit shorter.
Yeah.
At least that's what I thought the first time I read it. And the second time I read it, I got through it faster. So I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe I accidentally, without realizing, was kind of reading faster or skim reading. I don't think so, but maybe. Or
Yeah.
maybe. Well, actually, one thing that I think could be relevant to that is when you read a book and you put it down for the night, wherever you stop reading, if you say you can't pick it up for the next day, it's just going to be in your mind, that part of the book, for longer. So it might feel like it's dragged out longer just because you're giving it more time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
And
that might be completely wrong, but
yeah, well, I kind of feel that too. Like I think with the second book, there was a part where I put it down for a while, and it felt like it dragged out, but I don't really think it did. The first one I read really fast, though the beginning I did feel was kind of slow because I was kind of lost at the beginning. I don't know about you, but I didn't really understand what was happening. But then once I got past just a certain point, it seemed to just like flow perfectly for me. I got like enveloped in it. Then I actually took I was actually going to Nova Scotia at the time on a plane, and I read almost like the whole book on the plane. And I loved it. It definitely really sucks you in. There's something almost like musical kind of about the prose that Patrick Rothfuss writes, and music actually plays a big part in the book because the main character plays the lute. But yeah, to me, the prose has different. It's different than a lot of other fantasy books.
The importance of names and just words in general, I find it's well reflected in the fact that it's really well written and the words are well chosen. I think it's really cool. So I actually didn't answer in the end for which one I prefer. I am going to say the second book, excluding maybe one or two small parts in it where I'm just like, it could have been a bit faster. But I do think what I really liked about it is just that you're right into the world from the start. And I guess it's longer, so you spend more time in the world. It's kind of strange reasons that are not directly related to the book, but just the fact that it's kind of like there's more of it.
Yeah, you got more time in that world. So.
But there's so much that happens in the second book. There's so much, and like the first book as well. But just because there's so much that happens, it's just so cool.
Yeah. How did you guys discover the book? That is a good question.
It was recommended to me by friends. So a few friends told me, oh yeah, no, it's really good. And it was actually recommended to me. They said, oh no, I recommend this above like A Song of Ice and Fire and loads of other things. So I was just like, oh wow, okay, it's pretty high up there then. So they're recommending it above like all these huge names that other people kind of say are their favorite books. So I was like, okay, I need to read this.
Yeah, I think I might have been recommended it as well. I can't really remember, but I do know my uncle actually has read the series like quite a few years ago, and I'm pretty sure he recommended them to me. And I saw them in the store, and I just decided to pick it up. And it's been one of my favorite series for such a long time now. Well, not such a long time. I mean, I guess I started reading it like last year. But.
Yeah, well, it's been in my favorite books since I read it in 2014. So it's been 3 years now. So. Yeah. I mean, my Goodreads review for it starts with, I rate this book 6 stars out of 5.
So that's a good sign that it's a good book.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever rated a book 6 out of 5 stars before. So, yeah, no, it was really good. That year actually was a really good reading year. I read something like 104 books in 2014.
Oh wow. Oh my goodness.
And of those books, I also read Ready Player One, which is also really good.
I love that
And
book.
yeah, as I said, like after The Name of the Wind, I read The Wise Man's Fear the same year as well. So like 3 excellent books just within a few months. It's just
Yeah.
brilliant. Okay, we have a question here. Is The Name of the Wind anything like a Song of Ice and Fire series? I haven't read A Song of Ice and Fire and haven't watched the series, so I don't know. Do you know any better?
I've watched up to season 3 of the show, and then I've read halfway through the first book, and I think I just stopped because I was busy with college at the time. It is kind of similar in terms of how big it is, but in A Song of Ice and Fire, there's a lot more. It switches to a lot more characters than The Name of the Wind does. In The Name of the Wind, it's all focused on one character and him telling his story. So I would say it has similarities in just being a huge fantasy world, but other than that, there's not there isn't a ton of main characters dying, for one thing. So yeah, there's some similarities.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. I mean, they're different then. I do want to read well, the first book of Game of Thrones soon. I have them on my shelf, so I should get around to them at some point. But I'm in the middle of a dozen books, so I probably should finish them first.
Yeah, I know the feeling. In Brazil, Hermione is pronounced Ermi.
Well, actually, he corrected it afterwards. Hermione.
Oh, I see. Okay. Huh.
Actually, wait. Just there we go. Yeah. Yeah. Let me see. Okay. Bram saying, I was traveling in London when it caught my eye in 2009. Never heard of it and went in blind. It was one of my best finds ever. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Clara saying, gives me hope because I want to read the second one desperately, but it's still quite intimidating. It is true, the first book is only 662 pages or something like that, and the second one is 996 or 98, something like that. Oh, actually, is it just over 1,000?
In my edition, it's over 1,000, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it is quite a bit longer.
Yeah, it can be intimidating, but really, I feel like there's something with Patrick Rothfuss's writing where it goes by a lot faster than some other long books.
I mean, it did still take me a month to read the first book because I read slowly and I was really immersed in the world and kind of just imagining what was going on and what could happen as much as reading it. So that does drag it out a bit, but not in a bad way. It drags it out because I'm purposely dragging it out.
Yeah, it's nice to take your time.
Yep. So Sam Loves Books says, I'm that friend that always recommends The Name of the Wind to everyone.
That'd be me as well.
That's me too. I may have gifted The Name of the Wind to 3 friends for their birthdays, and I just randomly gave a copy to another friend at some point. So I've been distributing the copies over the last few years. So like on top of just recommending it, I've also given away copies of it. So this is fitting to just do a giveaway officially on the channel as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bram is asking if you guys ever met Patrick and you could only ask him one thing, what would you ask?
We both stopped to think. That's a good question, but what first came to mind is to ask him when the third book's coming out, but I think he's kind of tired of getting that question asked.
But that was the first thing that came to mind was not ask that question.
Yeah, it would probably just make him a bit upset, but yeah.
Is there anything particular I would ask? I mean, it depends. I mean, if I were to meet him, like say tomorrow, then I might have a different question than if I met him in a few years, say after the third book releases, because like after the third book releases, he might be more likely to answer a question about the world rather than now, because he might be, can't really say much about that. That's a spoiler for next book, or kind of, even he probably wouldn't even say that. He's just like, no, won't say anything.
Yeah. I'd probably ask him maybe something about the movie deal, like how that's going, or if he's happy with the cast. That I don't even know if they've done casting yet, but
there was something interesting about the casting. He was saying that he might have an actor in mind for a role, but the thing is, loving an actor, which he said would be why he'd choose an actor, versus being a casting director, is something very different, because a casting director knows, like, that's their job. They kind of know what to do. They know what they're looking for as well. So just because you like an actor doesn't mean they'll be the perfect person for that role.
Yeah.
So he was kind of,
that makes sense.
He was mentioning that, and I thought that was really interesting. Yeah. So what questions? I mean, he's very interesting in a lot of ways, because he's got a lot of varied interests. So it's good. I think one of the things he said at some point, just that he just likes learning about different things, and then it's kind of all the mix of things he's learned kind of comes together in some sense to make the book as well. Because when you have a varied background or a lot of interests, and I find that as well with myself, it's just that I can talk about pretty much any topic, whether I know something about it or not. That's not to say I'd make myself sound like I know something about the topic. I would purposely be asking loads of questions if I'm talking with someone who finds that interesting. So I mean, I love learning, so I find that's really cool. I might just ask him something related to that. So, like, what's the thing he noticed, like, led him to learn the most? Like, what kind of situation? So if that's going to university and talking with people there, or if it's just some other situation, like if there's a website online, which is amazing, where you can learn everything and anything for free. I'd love to know that, I mean, obviously there are loads of such websites, but it's just whether maybe it's a community about learning. I know there's something like that for languages. There's Tandem, so that's an app which there's actually 2-3 people in chat that I know from that app from learning languages, and it's just you put in the languages you speak and the language you'd like to learn, language or languages, and you just start talking with people who are native speakers in the language you want to learn and who want to learn your native language. So it's completely free, and I just think that is fantastic. But I like those kind of websites, those kind of things. I think there are probably more of them, but there need to be even more of them, and more kind of readily everywhere.
Yeah, for sure. I'll have to check Tandem out. I've never heard of that.
I don't know if there's a website for it, but there is definitely the app for it. So definitely worth checking it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Let's see. Clara agrees with you about the similarity between The Song of Ice and Fire and The Name of the Wind being that they have similarly huge worlds, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The Name of the Wind isn't. The Name of the Wind isn't. It's not like. I mean, I guess A Song of Ice and Fire is kind of more violent. I guess The Name of the Wind has its moments, but that's not like combat isn't a huge focus in The Name of the Wind either.
Clara says there's something about, have either of us listened to the audiobook? She says she listened to about a third of The Name of the Wind on audiobook, saying the narrator is great. So I didn't listen to it in English, so I don't know about the narrator. A friend of mine did listen to it, and he said it was interesting to listen to it. I do agree, listening to it is excellent. The German narrator is fantastic as well. And what I really liked was just, the ability of turning off the lights and just lying there, eyes closed, listening to the book.
Imagining the world.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something you can't do when you're actually physically reading the book, and you've got the visual stimuli as well at the same time. So it's actually really cool to be able to just sit back, relax, listen to the audiobook.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. But I do definitely want to listen to the audiobook at some point in English. But
Yeah, I do too.
I first need to read the book in French, and I'm going to reread it with the new edition as well, the 10th anniversary edition. So
Yeah, it's a lot of rereads.
maybe the 7th reading of it will be the audiobook in English. Oh, yeah.
My first reread will be with the anniversary edition. Then after that, I'm probably going to try out the audiobook. I've tried the sample of it on Audible, and the narrator does seem really good.
Okay, so Graham is asking about if you could cast the main parts of The Name of the Wind, whom would you choose? I have no clue.
Yeah, me too. I have no clue at all.
I
can't picture anybody who would be the main character.
I want Quoth as Quoth.
Yes.
We'll see how that works out. I don't know enough actors by name or just in general actors to be able to say, I think this actor specifically would be really good for that role. Because I could say someone and someone else could be, well, I think this person would be better, and I might not know who that is, or might know who it is, but then only know them from a specific type of film, and then be like, well, okay, but how? It can be hard to imagine sometimes, because when you pick someone for a role, I guess you'd have to have an idea of what they would be like in that specific role, and that's why auditions would probably be very good, because you're there at the audition, you're listening to different people who might be reading a piece of script, or just you gave them something similar. Just to get an idea of how they would interpret a similar character, because someone who might have done comedies their entire life up to now might be like, oh, I love this book, love this character, and then jumps into the role and then is very serious or very energetic in a way or something that they weren't in any comedy, say they were in before, but that they're perfect for that role just because they've got this completely other side that they can just throw it out and throw you something completely different. So yeah.
It's definitely probably something I would have to think on for a long time. But it would be so hard to pick a cast.
Yeah, I agree. It would be so hard. Okay. Currently at work, but wanted to stop in and say hi. Hello.
Hello.
Don't get caught at work on the live stream. If that's a problem, I mean, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's the break. I'm gonna guess it's break, just because.
Unless you're just being a rebel.
Or I mean, sometimes like you might have like a lull in your work where you have less to do at a specific moment. I had that when I was working in the museum during the summer, not last summer, but 3 years ago, where I was working at the desk, but if no one was coming in and I was just waiting for people to arrive and there was no one in the museum, I didn't really have much to do. So I was listening to audiobooks actually a lot of the time. But just, yeah, I mean, there is work like that where there are moments where you just have nothing to do other than,
for sure.
Than wait. Yeah.
Sam Love Books says, what character would you like to have a spin-off? Well, there is a spin-off for Ori, which is book, is it book 1.5? Is it? Or
I would say 2.5. Personally, yeah. I find reading it after book 2 is more interesting. I actually mentioned that in the video I put up yesterday.
Okay.
Because
I'm actually in the middle of reading it right now.
I read it earlier this year, and I find that there's definitely parts of the first book that come up, not that come up into it, but of the general world, which I find is really interesting to already have the background knowledge when it's mentioned or when it's kind of alluded to in some sense in the book. So yeah, I definitely believe that reading it after book 2 is a good time to read it. Now, I mean, it could be that because I read both of them and then I only read it a long time afterwards, that I wasn't able to differentiate like what part, a specific piece of information I have in my mind about the world I got from what book that is. But I would read it after book 2 just because you've dived into the world deeper. And I do feel that there are things in book 2 probably that are relevant to even just minute parts in the slow guard of silent things. There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. So I just see Bram saying have to go. Thank you guys for all the great videos. I enjoyed them every time. Keep going. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bram.
And have a nice rest of day wherever you are.
Day,
so whether
or
that's
day or night.
or night, yeah, because it's a bit later for me. Let's see.
So just to go back to that question about what character would you like to have a spin-off? So besides Ori, I'm actually in the middle of reading The Slower God of Silent Things for the first time. I just haven't had too much time to read it. But as far as any other spin-off, I think I would like a spin-off of Taborlin the Great, and just to get like a story of that, or of Haliax and his downfall from being Lanre. I think that would be a really interesting spin-off.
That could be interesting, but I feel like that's definitely going to come into book 3.
Yeah, that's
there's
true.
going to be more information about that in book 3. So
yeah,
if ever there is a spin-off, it's not going to be before book 3.
Yeah, probably not. Or a book about Elodin. That would also be
cool. I actually just saw a comment about Elodin, an origin story of Elodin. Yes, please. Yes, I think that would be so cool.
That'd be awesome.
You know what would be really interesting? Well, actually, I don't know if it'd be really interesting, but really funny in some sense if Elodin turned out to be like one of the Shantrian or something.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Okay,
that would be really interesting.
Yeah, without going into detail of who's what there, but yeah,
yeah,
I do think that would be. I mean, it would be. I don't want it to happen, but if it does happen, I'd be like, ha.
Yeah, it'd definitely be a big twist.
It would definitely be unexpected, completely unexpected. I don't even know where that idea came from just now. Oh, let me see. I'm just quickly looking through chat because there are other questions. Did you ever play TAC? I haven't yet. I would like to try it at some point. Actually, that would be pretty cool. The only thing is, to play TAC, you'd have to own a set or know someone who owns a set for the game, like the board game. So
yeah,
maybe at some point, but as a student, that does cost money. Well, more money than like currently would give out for a board game, because I don't really have much place or time to play with other people. I mean, I have a chessboard, but that's about the only game I currently own that. Well, I do also have a non-board game, but I have a Game Boy Advance here. But yeah,
I still have my Game Boy Advance as well from I think back in like 2000 is when I got it, and I still have it.
Yeah, it's really fun to just play on it. I see a question here. Do you think there will be more than just 3 books? Yes, the author. So Patrick Rothfuss said in this kind of story arc, there's only going to be 3, but that he probably isn't going to just end there when it comes to the world. He would be writing more in the world. At least that's what I understood from the live stream I watched in the middle of the night a few months back.
No, I heard that too, that he's going to be making more books that aren't related, I think, to Kavoth's story. But that I'm definitely really excited for. How long that will take him to write those, though, is another question. But but yeah, so there is going to be more than 3, but the 3 are the main series.
Yeah, the main that for that story arc, there shouldn't. Well, there might be spin-off books and stuff like that, but the main story arc there will end at the end of book 3. Also, something I saw is that the 3rd book will not be longer than the 2nd book. Random thing I read somewhere earlier today. Actually, I think it could have been yesterday. Days kind of mixed together at some point. Even when you sleep, it's just okay, someone else is asking here. So I think it's Abel is asking, do you know any Kingkiller Chronicle theories? Is the 3rd series I'm seriously obsessed with after Harry Potter and A Song of Ice and Fire. I started to read Name of the Wind because J.R.R. Martin's recommendation. Yeah, that's a pretty good recommendation. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and also saying that I should really read A Song of Ice and Fire. I will get to it. I promise. I don't know when though, but I will. So do I know any theories? Yes, I know some theories. I don't want to mention them here because there are people who haven't read it in chat at the moment. There is a group on Facebook, though, that you could join. There's 20,000 members, and there's posts there about different theories, and there's fan art, and it's really cool. And it's called The Kingkiller Chronicle, or just Kingkiller Chronicle. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah, it's one or the other. The Kingkiller Chronicle or Kingkiller Chronicle. But yeah,
I still have to join that.
Facebook. Yeah, it's a group on Facebook, and it is really interesting. Yeah, I definitely would recommend.
Yeah, I know a lot of the Kingkiller theories as well, and I'm actually going to be making some videos on those. I'm not going to mention any theories in this video because we don't want to have any spoilers, but I'm going to be making Kingkiller theory videos in the form of kind of the lore videos that I've started doing.
I'm looking forward to those. Really am.
Yeah. There's a lot of theories out there.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I've come up with a few, but then I've discovered that they've already been out there.
Yeah, I know. Same with me.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so Clara's asking, if you both had to pick your top 5 fantasy books, so standalone or series, which would you choose? Top 5. Okay. Do you want to start?
Sure. Well, definitely the Kingkiller Chronicle for one. I would also go, I don't know if many people know this series. I know it was really big in the 80s and 90s, and that is the Legend of Drizzt series. That is one of my all-time favorite fantasy series. It's very, very long. I don't know how many books there are in it now, and there's tons of spin-off series as well. So that I would also name as one of my top favorite series. Also Mistborn. I'm on the second Mistborn book right now, but I can already tell it is by far one of my favorite fantasy series. And other than that, I'm just trying to think. I really like the Night Angel trilogy by Brent Weeks. It's about assassins, and it is awesome. Though I've heard that his newest series, which is the Lightbringer, I heard that series is a lot better than the Night Angel trilogy. So I'm definitely gonna have to check out his new series. So that's 4. I can't think of a 5th one right now. I'll have to think about that.
What was the name of the first one?
The Legend of Drizzt. It's spelled Drizzt.
Okay. Cool. Now I'll write those and I'll check them later.
That's a series I've been reading since high school, and I'm still reading it, but I've kind of had to go back and reread some of them because I've forgotten a lot of what happens. If you guys see me like with my hand over here, it's because I'm petting my cat.
Okay, so my favorites. Obviously Kingkiller Chronicle series as well. I will also... Your head has disappeared.
I was trying to show my cat, but it didn't really work out.
Okay, so yeah, so Kingkiller Chronicle series. Then also, damn it, what's it called? Yeah, the Old Kingdom series by Garth Nix. That's also one I really like. So that's Sabriel, Lirael, Abersen, Golden Hand, and the prequel Clariel. That's a really good. I really like that series. Otherwise, one that I mention a lot, which is a French series, which is La Quête de Milan. So that's by Pierre Bottero. And I found out yesterday that it actually exists in Spanish as well as English. No, sorry, not English, French and German. And it doesn't exist in English. And that's what I find just
too bad.
That little bit irritating. But I didn't actually know about the Spanish until yesterday. It was mentioned to me after I made the video where I mentioned it because I read the second book in the series, and I mentioned that I only knew of it being translated to German, but then also it exists in Spanish. Yes,
You're gonna have to translate it to English.
I actually have started.
Oh yeah, well that's awesome.
I've translated 2-3 pages, but it takes so long. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I imagine it must take a long time.
Okay, so that's only 3. Another series, let's see. Well, actually, no, standalone. I'll go with Ready Player One. That's a really good one. And So that's I'm not sure. It's okay. So maybe Dead Poets Society. That's a good one as well.
Is that fantasy though? I don't.
It's not. It's not. It's not fantasy. So fantasy, maybe the Dragon Keeper series. I read that a long time ago. I would have to reread them to know if I still like them just as much as I remember liking them. And I do plan on rereading them because I want to rediscover that world. Is it
Dragon
fantasy?
Keepers.
It's got dragons, so it must be fantasy, right?
Oh, it must be. I've never heard of that series. It's really cool.
It's by Carol Wilkinson, and it's a trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely one I would say. Have you come up with a fifth one?
Oh no, I wasn't really thinking. Not really. No. I do really like the Dragonlance books, which is another older fantasy series from like the 80s. But those I really enjoy. I haven't read them for a long time though, so I would probably have to reread them. But I really like those.
Okay, I'm just thinking. Actually, Ready Player One is sci-fi, not fantasy, is it? Well,
yeah, I guess so.
It's a cross between the two, but
yeah,
but it's mostly sci-fi, I think.
Yeah, because I would probably add that to mine as well, because I love Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm. Should we count it?
Yeah, you might as well.
We might. Because,
Unless you can think of a different one.
It does. I mean, I could add just another series by Garth Nix. So Garth Nix being one of my favorite authors, I've read quite a few of his series, and two other series actually by him that I really like are the Keys to the Kingdom series and the Seventh Tower series.
I've read that series. A long, long time ago, the Seventh Tower.
Yeah.
And I remember really liking it. It had like these like stones, right? I remember there being some stones.
Sunstones, I think they're called. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember really liking that series.
Yeah, bringing up the old children's books, you know.
Yeah.
Children's books are amazing.
Oh, I love them. They're always the most imaginative books.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're just really well put together, and you just so much creativity in it. Let's see, I'm just looking here. Someone said, "What's behind the doors of stone?" Well, I don't know.
That would definitely be a spoiler.
That would be a spoiler.
I have an idea, but
if we knew it'd be a spoiler, and even if we didn't know, whatever we say would be a spoiler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that would definitely be quite a spoiler. Sergio is saying, "Hello guys, nice live stream. Love your channels. Thank you very much. Hello to you too."
Thank you, Sergio.
Yeah. I'm slowly catching up with chat because I'm
trying to catch up.
half a page behind chat. But yeah, actually, yeah, it's just half a page. I was like about to think, do I have to scroll down? No, it's okay. I'm on top of it. Yeah.
Jessica says, "Show us the cat." I have two cats actually. This one is Kelvin. The other one I can't really grab at the moment, but yeah, this is Kelvin, and he's trying to nap right now. Though just a little while ago they were fighting and almost knocking my laptop over. So
napping is better than knocking off. Yeah.
Yes.
Just slightly.
Slightly, yes.
Yeah. So Silke is saying, I really can't wait to see how they're going to do the music in the movie TV adaptation. Absolutely, yeah. That is such a big part, and really looking forward to that. Absolutely. Yeah. That's gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. Jessica is saying, I still have my Game Boy Color with Zelda Oracle of Ages on it.
I used to play that game a lot.
Game Boy Color, wow. I mean, the only Game Boy Color game I have is Pokemon Yellow.
Oh, yeah.
I think my brother has Pokemon Red. I'm not sure. But yeah, I only got into playing with the Game Boy Advance, even though they're still older games. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Game Boy Advance was actually probably the very first handheld I had when I was younger. And later on, I actually ended up getting a Game Boy Color for my school. It was found in the Lost and Found, and the teacher said if nobody claims it like in 10 days, then she was going to give it to somebody, and she gave it to me. So I remember I was like super happy about that.
That's really
But I feel
cool.
bad that somebody lost it.
Yeah, that is sad. But I mean, I guess if no one claimed it, yeah. Oh. Okay, there's a question here actually about the giveaways. So it's, are you guys going to write anything in the giveaway copies or something like that to make it more special to the winners? So I currently have my copies here, and I was wondering about doing something like that, but then at the same time, not, because I know some people really don't like when you write in books.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
I don't want to send a copy to someone, or either they realize or not that I had written it, say, for example, and that they're really not happy about it because, yeah. For that reason, I wouldn't directly write into the book personally. Yeah.
I think I'm most likely going to be ordering mine from like a website, like from Book Depository or something. So I won't even have a chance to write something in it.
So ordering it straight to the person who won. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so question from Silke. Have either of you read The Thing Beneath the Bed? Okay, so it's The Adventures of Princess and Mr. Whiffle. First one by Patrick Rothfuss.
Oh, wow.
I haven't. The name sounds familiar. I'm not sure if I've actually heard of that. I did hear of another book that I hadn't read, but I have not.
I've never actually heard of that before. That sounds kind of neat. Is it like a children's book? I'm guessing it's probably a children's book.
The second half of the comment is actually really cool. If not, you can find videos on YouTube of Patrick Rothfuss reading it.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Oh, wow. I'm definitely gonna have to check that out. Yeah.
That is cool. I'm gonna check that out. So that's called The Thing Beneath the Bed. Okay. Yes, I'm writing it down again. In an age of technology, pen and paper. I mean, it doesn't run out of battery, and
that's true. That's true.
It's easier to carry around a dozen pens than it is to carry around either a dozen phones or a dozen batteries for a phone. So
yeah, you just got to make sure it's not messy enough so you can actually read it when you get around to
it. Yeah, I can kind of read it. It's fine. I was kind of writing that, looking at it too much, some of it. So yeah. Sam says, "How did you become friends? And P.S. Do you want to be my friends?"
Well, definitely. Of course, you always need more Booktube friends.
Absolutely, yeah. And how did we become friends? Through the Read a Theme Readathon group, I think.
Yeah. We both. We were both hosts in the Read a Theme Read Along. So that's kind of how we became friends. I think we were talking through like WhatsApp, or we had a Google Hangout to start with, and that's how we became friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was really cool. the whole thing. Yeah. I actually really like the name because I came up with it.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was wondering if it was you or if it was Saja that came up with that.
Yeah, I came up with the name. I just liked it. Read a Theme Readathon. It kind of had a ring to it, which a similarity. So just a play on words. What is that called as well when it starts with the same letter?
Alliteration.
Alliteration. There we go. I knew it was Al something. Yeah. No, that is pretty cool. Oh, okay. There's more recommendations. Graham recommends The Demon Cycle series by Peter V. Brett. A bit more grim than The Name of the Wind, but still good.
I actually own the first book of that. I haven't read it yet, but I've heard it's really good.
Okay, so writing that down. I'll just end up with a page full of notes. Okay. Some research to do afterwards. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Yeah. Okay. There's some love for the cat there. The next two.
I guess that's how behind we are in the chat.
Original Human says, Hello. Hello to you.
Hello. Mr. Whipple's is a great kids book. Okay, so it is a kids book. I was wondering. I imagine it sounded quite like a kids book, as it's about a princess and Mr. Whiffles. But I'm definitely going to want to check that one out.
Okay, and he made a sequel as well. In that same comment, it said, also, it says, Abella says, "You mean the cat's name is Master Kilvin?"
It's actually Kelvin, but it's pretty close. Pretty close. I should just change it to Kelvin.
Well, yeah, he wrote it in caps, so obviously understood that you said so.
Yeah,
but Kelvin's pretty cool as well. I mean,
yeah. I actually have two cats, Kelvin and Klein. Ironically, the brand Kelvin and Klein, but we actually got them from a shelter, and they were already named that, so we just decided to stick with it.
Actually, well, Kelvin just makes me think of the unit of measure for temperature. I'm a science nerd after all, so yeah, that definitely is something that comes to mind when I think of Kelvin. Yes. 0 Kelvin being minus, is it 171.25 Celsius? I'm not sure.
I've got no idea.
No, actually, I think it's minus 173.15. But I'm not sure. Don't hold me up to that. I'm just, that's just a memory from years ago that I believe at some point was. Wait, I'm just caught up by the comments here. Again, is it okay if I'm watching this at school during literature class?
We're talking about books.
We are talking about books, so I'm going to say yes. Yeah.
Your teacher has a problem with it, then she'll have to join the live stream and join the chat to tell us.
Just get the whole class joining in, all on their separate devices, and just boost up the number of viewers. Like all of a sudden we have a whole classroom of people watching.
Yeah,
that would be intimidating almost,
Oh, it would be.
It's like everyone's judging you. It's like, and then and now you shall write an essay about the live stream that Stephen and Jay did, and it's like, ooh. Especially if people start sending us copies of their essays, it's like, well, you said this and this, and that was completely wrong. It's like
they'll try to find symbolism and stuff in what we're saying.
The color of the background, because of the difference in color, there's an obvious interpretation there of, I don't know, something. Let me see.
Jessica says maybe you could get another cat and name him Mr. Whiffle. That would be pretty soothing. I could totally do that. Or I could get another one and name him Master Kilvin.
I'm trying to think what's the name of is it Mogget? The cat in Sabriel? That's in
I haven't read that.
So that's the Old Kingdom series. It's definitely very, very cool book, but that cat is a really cool cat.
Yeah.
So I definitely, if I could have a cat, I would name the cat that. Unfortunately, allergies in the house, so we can't have cats, dogs, or horses. Last one being most unlikely in the house, but
a horse. Yeah, I actually have like a slight allergy to my cats, which really sucks because they're long-haired. So yeah, it definitely sucks. But
that does, yes. but at least it's mild enough because you can actually sit in the same room as the cat.
yeah, for sure.
Like no, my mother's allergy is a bit worse, where she doesn't have that possibility, where she needs to not be in the same room as the cat, or at least not for too long, because otherwise she just start reacting, which is a pain. I would, yeah.
Clara says, I recommend Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. I'm halfway through, and it's easily already one of my faves. I've heard a lot about Nevernight. I definitely do want to read that. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to read that at some point. I think it has to do with assassins. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm a big fan of books that have assassins.
I'm a big fan of books in general, so
yeah.
I mean, it makes sense to be booktubers when we love books.
No, I hate books.
Or rather, it makes sense that as booktubers we love books.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. So, Original Human is asking, what do you think the Kingkiller Chronicle TV show will be like? As in, like, what would we compare it to, or in general, like, do we think it's going to be good or bad? Like, what? Well, do you have any thoughts in general about it, the TV series?
As far as like being compared to something, I'm really hoping it will be like on the scale of Game of Thrones, where it's going to be like a really big production. I'd be really happy with that. I'm hoping it's not going to have like I don't know. I'm just hoping it's not going to be really low budget, I guess is the word. I'm hoping that there will be quite a good budget put into it so that it turns out well. I think that's kind of what we're all hoping for. But yeah, if I had to compare it, I would definitely say the Game of Thrones is kind of the scale of which I would like it to be on.
Yeah, that's a good scale, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Definitely.
It has the potential. It has the potential for sure.
I do definitely think that it will be on a big scale because it is a really loved series, and I can't imagine that Patrick Rothfuss would want it to be worked on any on a small scale. Like, he would want it to be well represented, pretty well done, well presented.
Yeah.
I mean, for someone who spent so much time just choosing words, I think it's really important for him that it is the best it can be in some sense. So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Sergio says, update on the guy watching this in class. Actually, my teacher caught me and threw me out of the classroom, but totally worth it. Well, I'm sorry we got you thrown out of the classroom.
You got someone thrown out of class. That's new. I think I'm gonna
add that to my resume.
I was about to say, yeah, that's something I could write somewhere. That has to be mentioned.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you're still watching it though, so that's good.
Yeah, that is cool.
They didn't take away your phone.
Yeah, that would have been another possibility, like to say, like, give up your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay, so Clara's saying, yes, it's about assassins, and there's a whole school of assassins. Seriously, guys, Jay, read it. We must discuss.
Yes, I definitely want to read it. If there's a school of assassins, I know I am probably going to like that book, so I'm definitely going to have to read that soon.
That does sound really cool. Yeah, I definitely want to. There's a random question. Yes, Sam is asking, what's your Hogwarts house?
Huh. Do you want to go first?
I'm a Ravenclaw.
Okay. I did did you do the quiz thing?
Yeah, I did the quiz, but even before I did the quiz, I was kind of like, Ravenclaw kind of makes sense for me, just in general, being a nerd. Science.
Yeah, I was Ravenclaw. I was Ravenclaw as well. The first time I did it. Then I did the second time, and I was Gryffindor. But I think I prefer Ravenclaw. I mean, I like Gryffindor as well, but I think I'm a Ravenclaw.
But what's the other things called when you combine them? What's when you're both a Gryffindor and a Ravenclaw? Is it a Gryffindor or a Ravendor?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not too sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I had a second house, if I had to pick a second house, I'd be, my second house would be Hufflepuff.
Yeah.
I find, I like that. I find it's in a lot of ways it's underappreciated. Hufflepuff.
It is. It's
a really cool house, in my opinion. Yeah. Oh well, actually,
Claire says getting someone thrown out of class equals goals. Yes, we have reached that goal.
But Clara also says, first time I did it, I was Ravenclaw, and second time I got Hufflepuff. So, Yeah, well, there's exactly what I was saying. Only that, well, when I did it, I got Ravenclaw twice, but I would.
So
Oh, someone else said
you
Ravenpuff. So okay,
Ravenpuff. Okay,
there's at
that's what I was
least three
thinking.
of us here in chat. So
I was thinking
cool.
it's either Ravenpuff or a Huffleclaw, but I guess Ravenpuff is better.
Yeah, Ravenpuff does sound pretty cool. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I love when Hogwarts Houses comes up in chat or anywhere really, because everyone like who's a book nerd or a lot of people will immediately be like, oh, I'm this or that, or I'm this combination of houses, and you're just like, if you hadn't read the books, or if you're coming from an outside, you just see that, and then you're like, oh, what's this? Everyone's so
Yeah.
passionate about it, and these things I've never heard of before.
Yeah, for sure.
It's pretty cool. Oh, okay. Abel here says, I think the TV show won't be about Quoth's story. They're going to make cinematic movies out of the main trilogy. Yeah, so yeah, that sounds about right, because I'd say it's easier to explore just the world in general, more generally, if you don't like have to follow the books, and by making the films specific to his story, I think it works better in a sense if they do that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would definitely go with that's the way I would want to do it if I were to choose.
I could still see the TV show. I don't know. I could still see it being about his story because there's so much to be told. So I could see them stretching it out into a TV show. I think the movie I'm kind of nervous about because the movie it's such a short time frame, so I can't see them getting like the whole first book in one movie.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Well, we'll have to see what they do.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, I saw somewhere there was a quote or something. I want the 15-hour version of the film that includes absolutely everything, said the book nerd.
Yeah. I would love that.
Yeah, and I would probably watch it in one go as well.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm really excited though. If the TV show does follow Quoth's story, I would love to see like the older Coat in working at the inn go in and like tell his story, and then like a flashback to him when he was younger. I think that would just be so cool for the TV show.
I just see there the comment by Silk saying, speaking of Hogwarts houses, how would you sort the Kingkiller Chronicle characters? That is an interesting one.
That is really interesting.
I'd never considered it. I definitely think there's a certain recklessness about courage and recklessness about the main character, so Quoth.
Yeah, for
which
sure.
would make him Gryffindor in my eyes.
Yeah. He's also extremely intelligent and like can pick up. I think he learned a language in what was it, like a few days or something?
Was it a day and a half or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah. So he's extremely intelligent. So he's almost like a mixture of Gryffindor and Ravenclaw, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So basically a mix of us, or like you, because didn't you said Ravenclaw and then Gryffindor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically you're a non-Irish Jacksepticeye, but also close.
Just without the red hair. I only know one language, so not living up to that.
Well, but then really a mix, because I've got the few languages here just to throw them in.
Yeah, exactly. There will be both movies and a TV show and a video game too. Yes, that's what we were talking about earlier in the stream, and I am very excited for all of those. And we were discussing, I can't speak. We were discussing the video game a bit, right? And you're saying that you would like it to be kind of like Myst, which is, I guess Myst. Would you call that like a point and click adventure game?
Point and click. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. I think that's what.
Yeah. That it has like puzzles and stuff that you do in Myst, right?
Puzzles. So like you go to a specific place, point and click. You get to a specific thing where you might have to go around a room, or you might have multiple dials, and you have to like choose them, or you have to set an engine running or something like that, and then when you're somewhere else, like you maybe change the flow of water or something to be able to go somewhere or to activate a machine.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Something like that, where you actually, but the only difference is instead of it being point and click, being a 3D world that you can walk around in, that would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I was actually watching someone stream recently. I think it's Let's Read is this channel, and he was playing a game in a live stream, which was created by the same creators, and you could play it as a point and click, or you could play it in the way where you could just explore the world yourself. And it was a beautiful map.
Oh, that's really cool.
I don't remember what the name of the game was. I definitely need to check that out again because it looks so beautiful.
I think I might have actually seen that. I'm not sure of the name of the game, but I definitely think that would be a really cool adaptation for the Name of the Wind. Also, I think Original Human tweeted you and said that he would like to see it as The Witcher. And I'm a big fan of the Witcher games, and I think that would be amazing because it would be like a whole 3D open world with like combat and everything. I'm not entirely sure how they would fit that big of a scale of a game into the story, since a lot of the story takes place at the university. But I would still, if it was like a spin-off where it wasn't about Kavoth, or it was a whole different story in Temerant, I think that would be amazing. And that's what I would really like for the game. But I'm not really sure what to expect of what we're actually going to get for the game. I don't really know. But I'm excited.
Yeah. It's just a quick break. You have a little fan club creating itself for you becoming Kvothe for the
a redhead Jay.
So it's like, where's the petition to cast Jay as Kvothe? Cause boy.
I don't know if red hair would suit me. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you've got a few people that, Clara.
I'll have to Photoshop myself. I'll have to Photoshop myself with red hair and send it to Rothfuss and see what he thinks.
Yeah. could work. Yeah, you never know. Just make an audition tape.
Yeah.
Actually, like what could actually be really funny is like if you interesting maybe you just make a video where you like for your channel.
Yeah.
Where you're just like you're either really auditioning or just like fake auditioning or something, or just like make it into
or if I did just a skit. Yeah, if I did a skit.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, okay, I don't want to spoil or anything, but I was planning on making a skit sometime of do you know the scene in the first book where Denna and Kavoth are in a river? I don't want to spoil it, but it's a very specific scene, so you might not remember, but there was like this person that came up that had like a very distinct accent. And then the main characters like faked an accent and faked a personality. I don't know if you remember that scene.
Was that the part I was actually talking about earlier where
it might have been.
Actually, wait. Well, the one where
oh yes, with the strong accent.
Yeah.
You're talking about that
changed from the German version. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that scene. I would love to do like a skit of that scene. It would be hilarious. I'd have to like find people for the characters, but that'd be awesome.
So Clara says, okay, but if you don't do the Photoshop thing, I'll be mighty disappointed. And then she adds, wait, yes, this video idea is better. 12 out of 10.
For the video, I would probably have to buy like a redhead wig or something.
What you might be saying is, instead of 12 out of 10, she might be saying she wants the video in 2 days.
I'll work on that. It might be very, very low budget and low editing skills, but I can work on that.
Or actually, I mean, 12/10 could be 10/12, depending on how you read the date. So it could be the 10th of December.
Yeah.
It gives you a bit more time, but still quite short for if you really wanted to like write a script.
Yeah.
And work through.
It would probably take quite a while to actually do that. Not to mention, I'd probably have to buy some type of wig or something, which would be very awkward. But yeah.
Well, you could just grow your hair and dye it red.
Yeah, just fully commit to it. I don't really think I'd make a good Kavoth personally, but I'd give it a try. I wouldn't actually dye my hair though.
Clara says, yes, 2 days is your deadline. 1 day is preferred within 48 hours.
Okay. I will get that done.
I mean, okay, within 48 hours, you should be able to get the Photoshop picture done at least.
I could do that. Yes. You know they have this thing called hair dye, Jay. Yes, they do. That's fully committing to the act, but they do have hair dye. Speaking of which, I really regret it, but I remember one time in like grade 8, I dyed my hair black, and I don't know why. But it was horrible after it grew out. I don't think I ever want to dye my hair ever again.
We had an emo Jay?
I went through a phase.
I've never dyed my hair, but there's this funny time when I still kind of do from time to time. I run around in a completely opposite, multicolored t-shirts. Tie-dye t-shirts.
Oh yeah. Like tie-dye?
Yeah. And for my birthday one year, my parents got me a tie-dye t-shirt and trousers.
I didn't know they had tie-dye trousers.
Well, I don't know if you could call them tie-dye because but they were multicolored in the same way that tie-dye t-shirts would be. But I was just like, it just looked so strange because it was kind of like it went out at the bottom of the leg, so kind of like the leg just went out like that. Your foot disappeared under it.
If those still fit you, you need to wear those next time we do a live stream.
I don't think so.
No.
It was a few years ago. I don't even know if I still own them, but while they lasted, they were interesting. I must say I don't think I wore them more than just like the day I got them to try them on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Okay. Abel is saying you should just read a scene right now. So.
I actually don't have the book on me. It's downstairs. But.
I mean, I have one in French here, but could be. I
might take up a significant amount of the stream.
Significant amount of the stream, yeah. I was just thinking, like, even just the intro is pretty cool. Like, it's just the first page, the prologue. Unfortunately,
yeah, you could just read that.
Unfortunately, as said, French.
Right.
I'd love to read it in French. I'd love to share it, but it's just, yeah. We might just have the viewers being like, "What's going on?"
Not many people will understand it, probably.
I'm just looking at Clara's comments again here. Where can we find these pictures of Emo Jay? The world deserves to see this, to be honest.
I actually have one of them on saved on my computer. But funny thing, at the end of high school, this girl came out to me at the very end of high school, and she was in my class since like elementary school. And she asked me why I dyed my eyebrows. And I never did dye my eyebrows. For some reason, she thought, because I guess my eyebrows are darker than the color of my hair, but she thought for like years and years that I've been dyeing my eyebrows. So I had to explain to her that no, I don't dye my eyebrows. That's the natural color of my eyebrows.
Actually, a funny thing about color of hair versus color of other hair, like eyebrows or something like that. My beard, when I grow it out, actually is slightly red.
Oh, really?
Versus my hair, which is not red.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess
it's funny. I actually get like, sorry.
No, it just basically when I'm outside in summer, at least my hair actually looks a lot lighter.
Does it?
It doesn't look red.
Well, I guess you are Irish. Yeah.
Yeah. I've got that white red skin. New petition. Both of you make videos of you recreating these looks, quality content. Again, from Clara. I mean, that could be fun. I don't know how well I'll be able to. for some reason, I'm just imagining us now recreating looks for all characters, and I'm like, well, okay, we can recreate some of them, but then what happens when we get to the female character? Just like, I mean, a dress?
Are you saying I can't pull off Denna, Stephen?
I was actually thinking Ori, because she kind of has that light kind of dress that you see on the cover of the Slow Guard of Silent Things.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, I don't know if I could pull that off.
I don't know.
And I mean, if I were to try and pull off the look, there'd be a lot of shaving because of my legs and all required.
Yes, there'd be a lot of shaving involved.
Just to go the whole way, you know.
Yeah. Stephen has already. Now they're all gonna make you do it. They're gonna be messaging you like all the time, telling you to be Ori.
Okay, so Clara's saying, well, a lot of laughing, but also, no, I meant the emo and incredibly iconic tie-dye looks. Oh my god, you guys! But I'm good with that idea too. But, and now it's Stephen for Denna 2017.
Yeah, you can pull it off. No, we'll have to do these cosplays as the characters and send it in to Rothfuss and see what he thinks.
Also, Stephen as everyone, please. I think I could pull off some of the characters like is it Manet? Is that what is?
Oh yeah, I think it's Manet.
I mean, I have the slightly more well, wider frame, bulkier frame, whatever you want to call it, which would work. Also, because the second I grow my beard out a bit, I just look older.
Yeah, I could kind of picture of Simon. I don't remember really what he looked like, but I could kind of picture you as being Simon. Stephen as Ori and Jay as Denna. Oh god.
Clara saying, I want a one-man show of just Stephen doing every part. I may have to recruit you for all the green screen editing, or at least at the beginning, to show me how to do it. So make that work, because that would require some serious green screen.
There'd have to be some good editing there, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, there are scenes where there's 3, 4, 5, 10 plus characters, you know. So I'm just like,
yeah.
Can you imagine an auditorium edited with me in every single seat?
Or if you did like not the Waystone Inn. What's the inn? How am I forgetting this?
Oh, Aeolian.
Yeah. If you did the Aeolian in like a skit there, and just was every character there.
Insane. I mean, where would I find a place that has like 3 floors as well, with the balconies and all that? That would be...
Yeah, it would be pretty hard.
That would be quite hard, yeah. That would be really cool, though.
Yeah.
It would just take absolutely forever.
Yeah.
And Sergio is saying, and also, why shaving? Just go natural,
Just go natural.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Some people might picture Denna.
No, I mean, yes. I'm just gonna say yes. I might just shave off the beard because it's less common for women to have beards, especially young women, which is the case in the roles. Most of the women are younger, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Do you know how old Ori is? I've been kind of wondering that.
I have no clue. I have a feeling she's older than. She's slightly older, but I can't tell.
Yeah,
I can't tell.
Because
she kind of feels ageless.
To me, it always feels like she's kind of like childlike, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely think she's older.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely she is. She was in the she was we don't actually know, but
Mhm.
I have a feeling she was maybe a student, but don't know. But this,
I was also kind of wondering. Oh, dang it! It's so hard not to spoil anything, but I'm
yeah,
kind
I
of
know,
wondering
right?
if she has some connection. I'm kind of wondering if she has some connection to the Fey world. But I'm not going to say anything. I don't really
Mhm,
know. There's
mhm.
nothing of that in the book. But
Okay, yeah. Thinking of Faye, my actually thought is the opposite.
oh
Um,
yeah,
that she's the opposite. So, in the sense that there's a story. Remember the story about the, is it the Creation War? Or of basically the thing about the yeah, namers Fae, kind of the different types of namers. I find
yeah,
she would be the opposite type than the Fae, but I don't want to say anymore.
yeah. And I think there was yeah, I think there's the Shapers and the Namers. Was two of the groups anyway. But
No,
yeah,
the
it could
Shapers
be.
and the Knowers, I think, was it, or something like that?
Yeah, yeah, the Shapers and the Knowers.
So yeah,
Uh,
but yeah. So I put her
don't want
into
to get into spoils, but
the Knowers category, but then I don't know. It's never said, and it's kind of just a personal, almost just a personal preference that I think she'd be that.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, you'll see what I mean when you read. Well, finish the slower
I guess the
Gradassan thing.
second book, kind of, yeah.
Well, the slower Gradassan things would be what has more of
Oh,
what
right.
I'm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the second book, but also yeah. Mhm. Um. Okay, Sam's saying, so if I win a book, can you write a note or something?
Oh, so yeah, we discussed that earlier, and I was wondering about that, but I think I might just be sending my books from directly from Book Depository, so I won't have a chance to actually write anything in them, which is too bad, but yeah.
Yeah, probably is going to happen as well here. Well, I mean, I have the books, but it's just uh, I'd have to remember it. As terrible as that sounds. Um, Also, like, I personally just feel like I'd be ruining the book by writing in it. Yeah.
Also, it's kind of odd because I don't know. I guess I feel like the only person writing like their name in the book or something should be the author. But
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah,
personally me.
I was kind of thinking that too.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so we have another question. What are your favorite books ever? So yeah, if we don't think, well, don't include the Name of the Wind. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What books? Well, we did mention a few of our favorite fantasy books earlier. So you mentioned, uh, yeah, you mentioned a few. I mentioned a few as well.
Yeah, I
Let's see.
mentioned The Legend of Drizzt, which is a huge fantasy series.
Mhm.
That is one of my favorites. I think I'm like the eighth book in or something, but it's an extremely long series, and I believe they're still writing books in it. So that's one of my all-time favorite series. But Stephen also mentions Ready Player One, and that's also one of my favorite books of all time. I love Ready Player One. I'm really excited for the movie adaptation for that as well. Other than that, I mean, it's kind of hard because there's so many books that are my favorite. Peter Pan is one of my favorite classics. Same with Alice in Wonderland and Wind in the Willows. I love that book. Um, and yeah, do you have any favorite classics, Stephen?
I was just thinking of favorite classics. Father Goriot by Honoré de Balzac is a really good one. I do.
Okay, I haven't
Yeah.
heard of that.
So it's well, it's originally in French. It's one I read in French as well. I think it's also translated sometimes as Old Goriot rather than Father Goriot. But it is
Okay.
it's really a really interesting story, which is based in, I think it's the 19th century France, and it follows a student who moves to Paris to further his education, I think, and he doesn't have a lot of money, so he's living in kind of a lower expense place, and he meets this man, Goriot, but that's his, well, surname, I think. Yeah, yeah, and then finds out more about him and his two daughters, and just in general, yeah, his family.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Mm, Um,
I'm a big fan of like older English literature pieces like Beowulf and the Fairy Queen. and Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Like I love all those classic ones, even though they're much harder to read than nowadays fantasy. But I really enjoy those a lot.
Other classics that I really like are probably Jules Verne books. I really like Around the World in 80 Days. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was quite interesting. Hello, Uncut Reviews. I tried to remember your name, but I forgot it. Nice to pop in to say hello. Yeah.
Yes, hello.
Yeah. Yes, Jules Verne does rock. I agree.
I actually haven't read any Jules Verne yet.
What's the other one I've read? I read Patrick. Okay, cool. I'll try and remember that. Let's see. The other book is that I have a blank right now. So there's Journey to the Center of the Earth. There we go.
Oh right, yeah.
I should have remembered that one.
Which one would you recommend starting with? From Jules Verne.
Okay, well, I read them in. What order did I read them in? I read them in Around the World in 80 Days, then Journey to the Center of the Earth, and then I read the other one. Damn it. What is it called?
From the Earth to the Moon?
That's another one by Jules Verne. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. There we go. That's the third one. So right. So of those three, my favorite was probably that's hard. maybe Journey to the Center of the Earth is really good. Well, they were all three very good, but that was a really interesting one. It's also, well, I mean, with Around the World in 80 Days, they're probably way more famous than 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. But 20,000 Leagues, well, still a famous one, but 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea was also, they all have something different about them. What I really liked about all three is the geographical knowledge that's in the book. So Jules Verne was a geographer.
Okay.
I actually own a geography book, which was partially written by Jules Verne.
Oh wow! Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I don't think it's an original, but it's actually I don't think so, but it is older, so it is at least like the book is probably at least 60 to 80 years old. So Jules Verne,
wow.
Actually, I don't know when Jules Verne, like he wrote at the beginning of the 20th century, so it's possible that the book existed at the same time as the author.
Yeah. Wow, that's really cool.
So not many people know that. Is that for From the Earth to the Moon? The reason why I know it is because I was looking up titles of books by Jules Verne at some point. Actually, back a while ago, I did a I did a video which was what was the video? Like you had the Infinite Book Challenge or something like that.
Okay.
Because and in that I tried to say as many titles of books as possible, and I decided that I would try and say as many as that he say as many titles. No, he was actually referring to the fact that he was a geographer. That not many people know that. So yeah. I just find the fact when you find that out, it makes it even more interesting, because then you're like, well, then actually he's taking things he knows about the world and the geography, at least at that time, and he's taking that and putting it into the book. So yeah. And yes, sure. there is a cat.
Oh yes, cat. Yes. There's Kelvin.
Yeah. But there are also
another random question. Have you read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo? I have not read that yet.
I haven't read it, but I own a copy that I got signed at a book signing that Leigh Bardugo and Rainbow Rowell did in Dublin.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's awesome.
So I also got my first Rainbow Rowell book at that same event, and I also
which book was that?
Which one was it? I haven't read it yet, so
I've only read Eleanor and Park by her. It's not really my type of thing, but I did enjoy it for what it was.
I think that might be the one I have.
Okay, yeah.
Or it's either that or Fangirl, I think.
Okay.
I can't remember. Terrible. I know, but I think it was Eleanor Park because of something that she wrote or drew beside the names or something like that. There was something. But yeah. Oh yeah, the other random question is, do you like Rick and Morty? I haven't actually watched it. So I
You
don't know
say that so
anything about it.
slowly, like you're in trouble.
Well,
I've read, not read, I've watched the first season and a bit of the second one, and I like it. I'm not like the biggest fan. I know like there's a huge fan base for Rick and Morty, and I do like it. I'm not like a huge fanboy of it though.
wait, I own. Oh, wait, Jessica's saying I own a copy with a signed book plate, and it's amazing. I haven't read it yet, but I started the Grisha trilogy. Okay, that's also one I
Oh,
have
so
to
of
read.
Six of Crows, I'm guessing. A signed book plate of that.
Yeah. So I got a friend of mine was reading that, I think, and I asked Lee where to go to sign an extra like a book card that I then gave to my friend.
Yes, you are in trouble, Stephen.
Yeah, this is, by the way, it's not Patrick. Okay. I mean, um, it's annoying because I watch his videos, so I should remember his name because he says it at the beginning of the videos. I'm pretty sure it's just I have a complete blank right now. We've got a beautiful comment here. Someone's asking, "What's Harry Potter?"
just I'm just not going to answer that one.
And then LMAO with the next comment. So I'm guessing it's
Okay.
trolling, maybe.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So comment here. Rick and Morty, isn't that the series that has parallels to Back to the Future?
I believe it does. I think so.
Could be.
I'm not sure if that's like in a newer series. It definitely is similar. It's definitely making like fun, or not making fun, but like taking aspects from Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm. I do want to watch it because I've seen a lot about it. There's so much.
Yeah, there's a lot about it. It is pretty funny. Have you guys watched Bob's Burgers? Don't ask me how this is relevant to anything at all. Bob's Burgers. I actually haven't watched it. I've heard a lot about it though.
Mm-hmm. I can't say I've ever heard of it.
Oh no.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I've never heard of it. That's. Huh. Okay. Sam saying also read Six of Crows now. It's just great. Okay. Right now it's in the other room, but
let's read the whole thing on stream. No.
Yeah. How long would that take, and copyright or not?
Yeah. I was thinking of that one time of doing like audiobooks, but I guess there's the whole copyright thing. Though I know you can do audiobooks of stuff that's like in the public domain. Yeah. So I guess like a lot of classic books and stuff, but I think there's definitely some copyright things you would get in trouble with if you tried reading Six of Crows.
Yeah, I was actually considering reading a very short book that's a few pages long on my channel because I find the message of it is very important. There's only two small issues about it. I don't know if it exists in English. I know it in French, and I need to find it in English if I can. But also, I don't know about copyright. The copyright thing is the main thing. If I make it into a discussion video where I read it first and then I discuss it, the video would be really long. But I guess because there's a transformative nature to it, it might count as fine. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works with the copywriting for that.
Yeah.
Original Human says, who do you think would win in a fight? Quoth or Harry Potter?
Quoth, at what point? Because the thing is, like... I don't know. Like, I guess the Harry Potter spells are way more direct.
Yeah, definitely.
So I don't
I
know if this is a
kind of
reply
think
to that
Harry Potter.
question, but we've got uncut reviews saying X-Men. Is he saying they would that's the winner between Harry Potter and Quoth, or
X-Men's
is
the
that
winner.
separate? um,
I kind of think in that fight that Harry Potter would probably win just because he's got more stuff at his disposal than Quoth does.
yeah, I mean, unless Quoth were to do what he did to himself in the carriage, binding
Oh,
the
and
air.
suck out the wind.
Yeah, if he does
Yeah,
that, but to Harry, then it could be a short-lived battle.
yeah.
But okay, I don't know. I don't actually know who would. Actually, what I'm wondering is grams. Is that what they're called? How would they work in with if you were to apply Harry Potter magic to them?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
That could be interesting. Oh well, I feel like we're slowly giving away more and more about.
Yeah, yeah. I know it's really hard not to spoil the book.
Yeah, no, it is quite hard. Oh, what I saw some comments somewhere. Oh, Clara saying, Jay, what are you doing with your life? Watch Bob's Burgers. It's your homework. And then that goes for you too, Stephen.
Okay, I'm gonna email my college professor and I'm gonna tell him that's my homework. And then hopefully he'll give me the okay.
Yeah, I'm just, you know what? I'm gonna write it down as a sign of what is it called? Good, goodwill? No. That I'm agreeing that I'll at least look into it to see what it's about.
I'll look into it too. I've heard a lot of good things about it. So,
but whether I'll be able to watch any of it before December because of my exams, I don't know. But yes, that I have that written down, and I'll definitely have a quick look at it. Jordan saying, "Y'all are too funny." Well, cool. The chat is actually pretty cool, and also, I mean, I'm having fun here. It's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Original Human says, doing any more Kingkiller Chronicle lore videos soon? Actually, I'm in the middle of editing one about the Chandrian, and I do have some other ones that I want to come out with soon. I haven't started any other work, though, besides working on the Chandrian one, but I should have that, I think, up by either later this week or sometime on the weekend, hopefully, maybe. But yeah, I definitely have a lot more planned.
And I do want to make some Killer Chronicle related videos, but I don't have a specific date in mind at the moment. So, well, I do and I don't, but I prefer not to say anything just in case.
Stephen, I admire your Clara voice. A+.
Well, thank you. Yeah. What's that? Isn't that the place where you bring your old clothes? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what that's relating to.
I don't. Okay. Asking whether it's Stephen or Stephen. It's Stephen with PH. So yeah, it's. I guess I didn't correct earlier when I saw people writing Stephen with V, but yeah, it's written with PH. Yeah. It was something that was very confusing in school, actually. When I went to school in France and I said my name was Stephen, they would always automatically write it with a V. Yeah, that's just the way it, because in French, if you write PH, you would actually pronounce it like an F. Okay. So it would then be Stephen. So when teachers would call out my name, it would either be Stephen at the beginning of the year, or when they write it or something like that, it would end up sometimes with a V instead of a PH. But well, yeah. I mean, I don't mind either. And in German, it's Stefan. Yes, Uncut Reviews says. Okay, so Uncut Reviews is asking, may I ask a question completely unrelated to the topic? Sure. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Right now we're kind of in a mix of topics, so it's totally
Yeah,
fine.
topics are all over the place anyhow. I mean, the overarching theme is the name of the wind, and we have kind of gone back to it the whole time. But yeah, but yeah, okay. Waiting for that question. We're gonna look at Silk's comment. Silk's comment. What's your favorite cover for the Kingkiller Chronicle? I prefer the British ones, but I also really like the Dutch ones. Ooh,
I've never seen the Dutch ones.
I have not seen the Dutch ones. I kind of feel like going to have a look now. No, I'll look after the stream, but that's really cool.
I do like the British ones quite a bit. I like that French cover that you showed.
Yeah,
cool.
no, I think this is my favorite cover of the ones I own. So yeah, I really like this cover. It's a really
besides the anniversary edition, that one's pretty good.
The anniversary edition is really cool, but I think I prefer the cover without the dust jacket, where it's just black with the Valeritas word.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll have to see
that's
that.
all. I think that's really cool. But yeah, no, I really like this French one, and the British one is the one I have on my bookshelf downstairs. So yeah, that is one I really like as well. I prefer it to the one that I think you have.
Yeah, the I guess it's like the American edition. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big fan of that one, but yeah, I like the British one a lot more.
So Uncut Reviews is asking, how do you do a live stream together? So that's a more technical question, I guess. Okay, so I set up the live stream and then I went into it. So this one is through Hangouts on Air. So when you're on YouTube, you set up your event, you go to it, and it's like start Hangout on Air. And then at the top, you have the possibility of adding people. So it's just the normal kind of person with a plus, invite people. You click on that, you add the email of the person, or you get a link, a clickable link. And I think you can add up to, I don't remember if it's 5 or 10 people. I don't quote me on that, the specific number. But yeah, that's how that works. Yep. Okay.
So Atlas says, any book to film show adaptations you guys would be psyched for? Like upcoming ones or ones that would be completely made up? I'm definitely really psyched for the Name of the Wind one, for sure.
Name of the Wind, obviously. Other ones that I would really like to see that I don't think are in the works would be, let me see. Oh, what's the name of it? Well, actually, the Old Kingdom series. So that's definitely one that I want to see something for. That would be really could I kind of just want to see how they bring the Old Kingdom to life in a film.
That'd be really cool.
Series. That would be really cool. And then it's specified outside of the ones in the works, so ones that are not currently being worked on. Okay.
I would love to see like a Mistborn adaptation. Have you read Mistborn, Stephen?
I haven't. No.
No? That's another one you would really, really like.
Yeah, I wrote it down when you mentioned it earlier, so I have it on the list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would make a really good TV show or movie.
Mm-hmm.
It would definitely have to have a bigger budget because there'd be a lot of effects and stuff, but I think it would be really good.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, there are so many that I would actually like to see adapted. Obviously, I'm so looking forward to Ready Player One. So that's actually in the works. Well, it's actually coming out, or it hasn't come out yet, has it?
No, it hasn't come out yet.
No.
I'm not sure about the release date. I don't know if it's in December or I'm not too sure.
I do feel like it's in the very near future.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think we should probably be expecting like another trailer pretty soon from them.
Yeah. I am looking forward to a trailer. What did you think of the trailer for that, actually, for Ready Player One?
I was a little bit mixed. I mean, I like it, but there's still like quite a few changes. Like H is like, what is she, like a cyborg? What is he, like a cyborg orc thing in the trailer? And I thought that was a little bit odd. And then there's also just like a lot of like new references and not as much 80s references. But other than that, I still really liked. I still really like the trailer. I'm still excited for it, even if it's going to be different from the book.
Yeah, well, I'd say part of that is because of copyright. It might be
Yeah,
easier
yeah,
to get
definitely.
copyright for more recent things, depending on who. Well, maybe not easier to get, but depending on who already owns those copyrights, it might be
Yeah.
easier. So that's definitely something that I think is probably comes into it. I thought the trailer was very much more action than story driven.
Yes,
So
yeah.
that was I would have preferred a more story driven trailer. There we go. Couldn't
Yeah,
find the
yeah,
word for
and
a second there.
I think if they come up with a new trailer, because usually there's like a few trailers coming up to a movie's release in theaters. So hopefully, I think the next one will probably be more so on the story. I hope so, at least.
Okay, so you have a question here. Have you read other Brandon Sanderson books
Oh,
other than Mistborn? Yeah.
Mistborn is actually it's the first series I just started reading like a few months ago, I guess. And yeah, that's the first series I started reading by Brandon Sanderson. I own almost every book by Brandon Sanderson, but the Mistborn is the first series I've started by him. And after that, I really want to start his other series. I don't remember what it's called. It's like the big, thick ones. I don't remember what they're called, but I want to start those ones next.
I haven't actually read any of his books yet.
He's
I've
a
been
really
meaning
good.
to.
Yeah.
I actually I made a video a while back, which was top 5 authors I'm ashamed I haven't read yet, and I've actually slowly been going through those. Now, Brandon Sanderson wasn't one of the ones I mentioned, but I'm planning on doing 5 more authors I'm ashamed I haven't read yet. As soon as I finished reading one book at least of each author I mentioned in the other video. So it's kind of just me
Okay.
go through the authors in some sense, like discovering them. It's just kind of setting a challenge for myself of books well, authors that I want to read something by at least. So that author will probably be in the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say quickly goodbye to Uncut Reviews and Rathio. So yeah, good luck getting up at 5 a.m. And
Yes, and thank you guys for watching the live
yeah,
stream.
thank you very much for watching. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. Yes, and I will remember it's not Patrick, but that doesn't help me with your name. It's like hello, not Patrick. There's still a lot of names out there. And
So Claire Reed's books says, Stephen, how long is your list? Oh my stars.
is that the list I've been writing since the beginning of the stream, or just
What is a TBR list in general?
or just TBR in general? Because my TBR is ridiculously long. Like Sammy, there we go. Yes, yes. Now I know you're not lying to me because I do remember that name. Sorry, just there. Uncut Review, Sammy. There, yes.
Not Patrick.
Sammy, also known as not Patrick.
Yes, you should call him Patrick now from now on, just to spite him.
Yeah. So yeah, so my the thing with the TBR list, I think my TBR list on Goodreads is some 2,300 books or more.
Just ever growing. Oh, she actually just clarified and said the list that you started at the beginning of the stream.
Oh, okay. So that's just it's actually quite short. Like it's just that part of the page there. I mean, it's big handwriting. But yeah, actually, the really cool thing about this notebook is that it's a YouTube Creator Day notebook.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I got that at an event that I went to in Cologne in Germany.
I clarify.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's really funny to me because I have two friends who actually both called Clara, who had a channel called Prepare to be Clarified. The thing is, they didn't know about each other's channels. One of them read Clara with a C and the other Clara with a K. And so there was a one-letter difference between their channel names originally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, that's crazy.
but they did change Clara with a K, changed her channel name. But yeah. Yeah.
So Alice says, how do you guys feel about starting series potentially years away from being completed? Well, we have read The Name of the Wind, so that's still in the works, the third book. So I definitely want to start the Stormlight Archive. I don't really care if it's still in the making my own self. I'm still fine with reading it because there's so many books to read in between as you wait for the next one to come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of series that I started when I was still waiting for the next book, and I'm really happy I did that. So back when I started reading, what was the series called? I think it's called the Time Rider series. There we go, by Alex Scarrow. When I read those, I started reading the first book when I think at most 3 books were out, and then it ended up being a 9-book series. And then also the I Am Number 4 or Lorien Legacy series by Pittacus Lore. When I read the first one, I think there were 2 or 3 books out at most, maybe only 2. And then now I'm finally, about to start the last book and finish that series. So that was years ago. But yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with starting a series and then just waiting a year or 2 years or 5 years for the next book, because there are so many other books that I need to read. As I said earlier, I'm in the middle of a dozen books at the moment. So yeah, it's kind of just, I'll get around to books when they come out, but I'll read what's out now first, because there's enough books to keep me, entertained for a long time.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with that. So I just realized it's 3:14 where I am, so I'm actually going to have to get going fairly soon.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's 13 minutes past midnight here, so.
Oh wow. So we probably want to answer the questions we got on Twitter, because we did say we were going to answer those.
We said we would answer
forgot
those.
about those.
Yeah. But then the people who weren't here will have to watch the whole stream to see our answers.
Yeah, they'll find it at the very, very end.
But yeah, okay. Well, yeah, let's go. What you have the questions on screen?
Okay.
I don't have them here, so.
Okay, so Jessica Spencer over at Breathe and Read on Twitter said dystopian/fantasy young adult really boomed a few years ago. Do you think it's dying for this generation, going through a slumber, or is it still alive? So dystopian/fantasy YA.
Okay, dystopian, yes, I do feel like it is slowly. It reached a peak after there's the Divergent series, the Hunger Games series. There was also the Uglies series, and
the Legend, or I don't remember the name of that series.
I can't remember the name of that series either. But there were quite a few at the same time, and it's just I feel like there were a huge amount, and then it kind of died off slowly. Just before that, vampires were huge and then started dying off slowly. So it's not that there are no books in those genres anymore. It's just that they've returned to probably normal or lower levels of publishing, because, they're not the focus anymore. So when there's a huge series or something, there's going to be a lot of authors that are going to write in similar genres, or authors who have written books in similar genres that are just going to become really big all of a sudden, because they're there when people are craving for that specific type of book, because they found that one book that they love, and then it just spikes. Young adult, I feel like
the other one was fantasy young adult.
Yeah, okay. Fantasy young adult specifically, or both separately? Fantasy young adult.
Specifically fantasy young adult.
I
think that's that's still on the rise, I guess. Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely there's definitely room for it, and I hope there's room for it, because okay, I guess the book I'm writing is probably more fantasy than fantasy YA, but I mean, I have been writing a book for a few years, so I'd hope that whenever it comes out, it's not a dying genre.
No, I think fantasy and young adult is always going to be like pretty much a big thing, because even if you look at like vampire books and dystopian ones, like they all kind of fit into fantasy young adult. So I don't think that's going to be one that's going to die anytime soon. Yeah,
it's just going to be maybe skewed towards a specific subset of books in that genre that would be more accessible,
for sure,
widely seen around at that specific time.
So then Jessica from @themortaljess on Twitter, she asked, what is some advice you can give to book reviewers / booktubers? Do you want to start off on that?
Advice for, what was it, booktubers and book lovers?
And book reviewers.
Oh, book reviewers. Okay. Well, I'm still quite new to actually writing reviews for books. So I have sort of written reviews over the years, but I spend more time just making videos in general about books than specifically about books I review. I think one important thing is that if you make videos about books, you have to make videos that you really enjoy. And
Yeah,
the type of video doesn't have to be what's really famous at the sorry, popular or done by a lot of people at that specific time. So I know that book hauls are really, really popular and people like making them, but I personally don't like making them and I don't make them. So
yeah.
one of, if not the most popular type of video, or at least the one that gets the most views on Booktube, I prefer not make them because it's just not something I enjoy doing. So it's really important to do something you enjoy because it adds to you wanting to make more videos as well.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I think, and kind of branching off of that is just reading the books that you want to read as well. Like I know, obviously, everybody knows young adult is like the biggest thing on BookTube, and it's totally fine if you want to read young adult. But also, like, don't be afraid of branching out if you feel like it. Don't feel like you're trapped into reading the thing that's like super big on BookTube. And as far as reviews, I haven't made a review for quite a while now. But I think for reviews, a lot of people tend to just kind of sum up the book. But I think definitely try and get more of what you thought of the book and just the things. Maybe even have a notebook as you're reading and just write down some things that you want to put in the review.
Yeah, I need to start doing that more. So the video I put up yesterday was actually me doing a wrap up of the books read number 6 to 10 earlier this year. So I'm slowly catching up because I read those back in February, March, I believe.
Oh,
So
I have so many reviews that I'm behind on.
so I did kind of try to just give a general idea of what I thought. I didn't really go into the story very much. So yeah, I feel like that kind of just there's the aspect of how a book impacted me versus how the story was specifically. It's just I probably need to find a good
Yeah.
balance, but I'm very much into just the how like what I thought and how the book impacted me side of things. I mean,
Yeah,
you
for
find
sure.
what you want to talk about as well. Even if it's not specifically the book you're talking about, maybe it's just a theme that book runs from. So if you find that there's a book you've reread a lot, which was actually came up in my video yesterday, that I just was like, yes. What I find amazing about rereading books is that you pick up things sometimes second, third, fourth, fifth reading that you didn't pick up previously, and that's just
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm.
All right, should we move on to the next question on Twitter?
Yeah. Let's move on to the next question.
Okay, so this is from Zane at Rec Zane, and he said, "How do you think the genre of fantasy has evolved over the years?" I think there was definitely it started off. Well, I mean, it didn't start off, but it definitely had a big impact with Lord of the Rings. And after Lord of the Rings, there was a lot of spin-offs that were quite similar. I mean, even Dragonlance is fairly similar. And a lot of them had the same kind of tropes and stuff. And I feel like nowadays people are trying to break away from those tropes and they're trying to make completely, well, not completely, but they're trying to make more unique worlds and magic systems and stuff like that. And I think it's fantastic. I don't mind fantasy tropes either. But I think definitely people are trying to branch away from that now.
Mm-hmm. There are some tropes that I find are sometimes a bit irritating. Specifically to fantasy, I like I have a blank right now. There are some YA tropes that I find a bit irritating. Well, I say YA,
Yeah.
not just YA, but they come up regularly in YA, like love triangles, or the other one being something that I've completely forgotten. Great. But love triangles is
Yeah,
a bit irritating. Not
definitely. I
because
find those tropes.
I like when there's a good romance in a book. I don't mind. I really don't. But if it's badly executed, even like I wouldn't have anything against, say, a love triangle if it's well done. If there's a specific
Yeah, well,
reason
it's
for why it's there, not just because there's 3 main characters.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think so too.
Mm. But yeah, tropes in fantasy. I can't. Well, I guess the heroic main character. That would be a trope, wouldn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, I guess that's a trope. That one doesn't really bother me so much, but I do realize how it
Yeah,
does bother some
it's kind of
people.
the hero's journey. That I find I do. What? Oh, actually, perfect example, which is not in a book but in a film recently, of a different main character, was the main character in um, ah um, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Oh yeah,
Newt Scamander, absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love the character and him being a um, different main character, being much more of having a much more dominant, what one would describe, if you want to compare it to others, as a maybe more feminine side, but
yeah,
definitely really interesting. I really liked seeing a character that was more in touch with his emotions, a male character more in touch with his emotions,
yeah, for sure.
and kind of even being a motherly figure to the beasts, the animals, the magical beasts in the book. I thought, well, in the movie, but I thought that was really beautiful. You know, really
Yeah,
really
I
nice.
thought they did a really good job on that.
Yeah, I hope to see that continue in the following films, because the reviews were quite mixed. If you
Yeah,
saw newspaper reviews, people were like, "Oh, what is this character? What's going on?" Like the character is dampening the excellent acting of what is his name? Uh, Redmayne. I've forgotten the name of the
I don't
actor.
remember his name.
Basically, I find it's a pity that people would think that, because I find it requires really good acting to be able to portray a character that is so different from
Yeah,
what one would be used to seeing and used to acting. So yeah,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, I thought he did a really good job, so I
so
liked
I
the
thought it was
movie.
excellent. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so BC at Seraph IJN on Twitter asked, "What was the first book you remember reading?"
Oh wow.
I think for me, it might have been. Oh no. Okay, I do remember reading when I was little. They had like these picture Disney books, just like of the Disney movies, and they're just little picture books. I remember reading a lot of those. And then I remember The Tale of Despero, which is a story about like this little mouse who becomes very brave. I remember that was like a really big one that got me into reading. I'm not really sure what else though.
I'm trying to remember. So I know that the first book I read in English on my own was the first Famous Five book. Um,
Oh, okay.
with my mother before that, I read a series called Keywords, which is by publishing house Ladybird, I think. Basically, it was something that they created for. The idea was there are 100 the 100 most common words in the English language when it comes to reading and speaking, are like they're basically brought into the book. So the first words you're introduced to are the most common words, and there's 36 of those books in total. Now I didn't go through all of them. I think we skipped the first few because I'd already learned how to read in French before I read in English. So I already had an idea of how to read. I just needed to get used to the sounds mostly, and then just the words and reading them.
Yeah.
English is actually very tricky when it comes to pronunciation. Um,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess I was lucky because I knew, well, I spoke it already before, but no, just, I mean, when you try to read English, if you say you have another language in your mind, I actually had a very French accent when I learned how to read English, even
Oh
though
wow.
when I speak English and when I spoke English back then, I didn't have a French accent. But when I read English, I did. We actually have a recording of me reading in on holidays. We were going, I think, on a boat trip somewhere. If I can find that, I will have to look into that again. But no, that was really fun. Just hearing myself with this really strong French accent reading a short passage of something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But before those, I don't know what I read. I definitely read stuff before that, and I definitely was introduced to reading before because I really loved reading when I started those. So I don't know.
So the last question here by Atlas Oreo at the Bread Fable. So he said, first book that made you cry, favorite character tropes, and book turnoffs. And just as you answer that, I'm just going to let the cats out of this room real quick. So be right back.
Sure. Okay, so let's see. First book that made you cry. Okay. Books that made me cry. River Boy. Yeah, that's probably one. River Boy was definitely one that made me made me cry. I cried at the end of River Boy, and I cried at the end of another book, but I can't remember. Maybe it was Missing more recently. I think I read that in 2014. But the first book was it? First book that made me cry. I can't remember. Oh,
sorry. Somebody just said, "Is Jay's cat okay?" Yeah, I don't know if you guys could hear him meowing, but he was just trying to get outside the door, so I just let him out.
That's what it was. Okay. Okay. Do you want to answer the first one? The first book that made you cry?
Yes, first book that made you cry. I don't really know. I don't know. I haven't read any like super sad books. I remember I was like sad after reading A Monster Calls, but I don't think I like cried or anything. But it was definitely sad. Other than that, I don't really know what other sad books I've read.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the second question? Favorite character tropes. Favorite character tropes.
I like seeing regular. It's funny because when I think of tropes, I think of more of a negative thing. It's like something that always comes back. So like a favorite one that I'm happy to see coming back.
I guess I guess this is kind of a trope that I see in a lot of fantasy things where the main character, he or she kind of picks up on something and learns it really fast. I actually like that trope. So I know some people might think it's kind of unrealistic that somebody's like so intelligent they can learn this so fast, but I don't mind it. I kind of like that trope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind that one either, actually, because I find, I was lucky when I was younger with languages, that because I was young and I didn't have to think much about learning them. I just learned them because they were there. They were presented to me in that sense. So I definitely would say, yeah, they were. That's not one that I mind because I learned languages really quickly when I was young, and so to me, it's just, it almost feels normal.
Yeah.
Obviously, 1 day and a half in quotes there is insanely fast, but it is also particularly in that case to show he's brilliant and know that he's brilliant, basically. In that case, yes, obviously that makes perfect sense. But no, it isn't one that I mind. If a character is too good at absolutely everything and gets absolutely everything right,
that can be kind of annoying.
A bit tiresome, especially if there's no characters or anyone or anything opposing them, that they're so above everything, basically. That's that wouldn't be interesting, because then there's no real what is it, the term,
no challenge, I guess.
No real challenge. So there's no real turning point in the book where he's faced with he or she is faced with a dilemma. He, she, or they, actually. There can be more than one character, but they got also, I guess, the generalists or characters and such. But no, it is definitely important to have kind of things. They do put those things in, tropes and such, sometimes just without thinking, but sometimes they add it because people are like, well, this is something people like, and I don't mind putting it in myself or something like that. But yeah.
So then the last one there was book turnoffs, which I guess kind of goes with like tropes that we don't like, pretty much, or just, I guess, just any turnoffs. Like, I don't like it when a book is like when the cover is, I don't know. There's a lot of like really cheesy covers where it has like a real person mixed in with like a fake background, and for me that's like an instant turnoff, pretty much, unless I know from like hearing it that the book is good. Other than that, I mean, for me, it just comes to genre. I'm open to reading like any genre pretty much, but there is ones I prefer. So if there is a different genre that I don't read so much like romance or even some young adult, I don't really read a whole lot of young adult, but when I do, I'm definitely kind of more picky with it, and I get turned off by things like if I know there's a love triangle, or I know just that there's something that just seems kind of amateurish, then I'm turned off by stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Jessica said, "Can I borrow your cat for a few hours?" If I could send it, then yes.
Well, just the sending would take a few hours, so
Yeah. I'll let you download them.
3D print the cat. That could be an interesting thing to try. Not with actual organs, but like if you could find materials similar to like make a teddy bear version of the cat,
like a plush cat. Yeah.
Yeah, that could be pretty fun. But first you'd have to upload your cat to the Matrix.
Yes.
So yeah, book turn-offs. Let's see. Can I think of any? Well, I mentioned love triangles before. A very badly executed love triangle would be a turn-off.
Yeah.
Let's see what else would be. Violence for the sake of violence. If it's over and over, for no.
Yeah, I
reason.
agree with that. I agree with that too.
Particularly bad writing is a turn-off as well. So if it's really, really bad. I read a book not that long ago. Well, it's probably a year or two at this point. That had absolutely terrible writing, and I'm not going to say every third word, but practically every sentence for the first few pages at least had curse words. And I don't have anything against curse words in books. I mean, if they're used reasonably, if they represent the character and show off a side of the character's vocabulary, the way they use their wordings of things, or not. But basically, it was just that. It was the author trying too hard to make the character sound more
badass.
not more of a gangster or more badass, but just a particular way, you know. And
yeah.
I just know I didn't like that.
Yeah, I could see that. Just yeah.
I guess one other thing that I read it was a non-fiction book I read, and it was a real. I finished the book. I try to always finish books. A real turnoff was that the character, the narrator was really arrogant, extremely arrogant. And I was just like, no, I couldn't. Yeah, but no, I think those are the main ones that I kind of think of there.
Yeah,
I don't like. Yeah, those would be turn-offs.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with those ones as well.
Mm-hmm. Clara's comment saying build a cat.
Build a cat.
Build a cat. Yes. We need to develop that software and also copyright it.
Yes, to 3D print living things.
Well, they wouldn't be living when they're copy, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
At least not at first.
Yes.
But no, that we might
Get
run
it
into, would we run into ethical issues with that? I feel
maybe.
maybe. Just maybe, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so it is 3:36 where I am, so I am gonna have to get going pretty much. Should we like wrap up the giveaway, or just remind people?
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the giveaway is still running until the 31st of October, so until Halloween. So yeah, I think that could be really fun for anyone who wants to join. We are giving away 10 copies of The Name of the Wind, including 2 of the 10th Anniversary Deluxe Edition, which are hardcovers, which you might have seen around. They came out on the 3rd. Well, it came out on the 3rd of October. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
They're so beautiful. Cool. Yeah. I'm so excited to see the anniversary editions and all the illustrations inside of them too. I'm so excited for that. You guys sound like mad scientists trying to Frankenstein a cat, and I'm kind of here for
it. Funny, because I mentioned Frankenstein earlier, actually.
Yeah.
And also mentioned that I was a science nerd, so
Yeah. So we can make it happen.
Yeah.
I'll supply the cats, and you can do the Frankenstein stuff. We're sounding really bad now.
Yeah, I think the mad scientist part sounds pretty right.
All right, so yeah, the giveaway is still going until the 31st, and then on November 5th, we're going to be announcing the winner, which will be randomly drawing.
Well, yeah, the winners, all 10 of them.
Yeah, all 10 of them.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm wondering, will there be another appearance of hologram you or?
Oh, for the announcement video, there could be. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see
that.
We'll have to see how we do that. That would be fun. Thanks, Sam. Sam says you're just great guys, and you're so cool for the giveaway.
Thanks so much, Sam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think as I said, the link is in the description to the giveaway, as well as a link to Jay's channel. So definitely check out Jay's channel as well. He's got loads of brilliant videos. The lore videos about the Kingkiller Chronicle series world. Yeah. And I also put a card. I think I put a card to your channel as well. So if you check the top corner, you'll also be able to get the card to go to his channel. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess we will see you guys next time.
What? Okay. Oh, just quickly, the last few comments.
Oh.
I saw a special edition Name of the Wind in the wild the other day, and I was shook.
Yes. Oh my goodness, I love the special edition.
Sam saying, "Do another live, please." I mean, it went really well, so I mean, definitely.
Yeah.
I would love to do another one at some point. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think we're expecting it to go for like an hour, and we've been doing the live stream for a long time now, so it went really well. Yeah.
It's only been 2 hours and 39 minutes.
Yeah. So yeah, it did go quite well. So we'll have to do another one in the future.
Very happy to see that you like the live stream, and we definitely had a lot of fun as well. So yeah. See you again at some point.
Okay. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.